What if the greatest gift you could ever give your children this Mother's Day is letting go of the pressure to be perfect? In this episode, we're tearing down the Superwoman myth and uncovering what real grace filled motherhood looks like, full of rest, purpose, and presence over perfection.
Good morning, or good afternoon, or maybe it's evening. It doesn't really matter what time it is, and it doesn't even matter where you are. We want to welcome you to Wholeness Wednesdays. So grab a cup of coffee or tea and join our host, Beatrice Hutchison, as we explore and experience our journey to complete wholeness.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Completely Whole's Wholeness Wednesdays, the place here where we talk about living in full alignment spiritually, emotionally, physically, and financially. And so I'm your host, Beatrice Hutchison, and this week's episode is in honor of all of the incredible mothers out there. So whether you are a biological mother, foster mother, a stepmother, if you are a pet mother, a godmother, a spiritual mother, no matter who you are, what you are, if you nurture and pour into the lives of others, then this topic today is for you. And so this topic today is entitled Breaking the Superwoman Myth: Rest, Grace, and Real Motherhood. What if being a good mom doesn't mean doing it all, but knowing when to let go? So, not about getting it all done, right? And being perfect and getting it done, but knowing when to let go of some things. Let's talk about it. So the first section I'd like to talk to you about is the myth of Superwoman, right? So the myth of the Superwoman. And I know sometimes we feel that we are superwomen and we must get it all done. So let's talk about that today. Motherhood has been romanticized and idealized in media and culture for generations. So we see the mom who does it all, right? Has the perfect house, who has thriving children, a full-time career, has glowing and beautiful skin and hair, right? And is never tired. But here's the truth. The superwoman myth, because it is a myth, is making moms everywhere sick, stressed, and spiritually depleted. Statistics from the American Psychological Association show that 75% of moms report feeling overwhelmed with expectations, especially the working mothers. There's a quote that says, "You can do anything, but not everything." And that was said by David Allen. You can do anything, right? But not everything. So let's break that down. So you are not called to be everything to everyone. I know sometimes we feel drawn to be, or we feel that that is our responsibility, but we're not called to be everything to everyone. God never asked us to be perfect. Right? He never asked for us to be perfect and to be without flaws. And so he made us and he knows who we are. So he knows what flaws we have. So he never put the expectation on us to be perfect, but rather we put that upon ourselves. And so also is that myth about rest, right? We feel like we have to keep going, and never get rest. But even God rested on the seventh day of the creation story, right? After he created everything, the Bible says that he rested in Genesis, right? And so even Jesus rested. In Mark 6:31, it talks about him resting, right? So there's nothing wrong with getting some rest. Very important. The next area I'd like to talk to you about is real motherhood. What does that look like? Real motherhood is messy and holy all at the same time. And so this is what it could look like, right? And so just being completely transparent and real about it, right? Tears, you can have tears behind the closed doors, right? And so when we're out in front of everyone, we put on the appearance of being strong and like we're in control of it all, right? But behind the closed doors, you can have some tears, right? Also praying in the bathroom just because you need a 5-minute break just to get some peace. Also feeling guilty, whether you're at home or you're at work. You always feel that you're not doing enough. And then wanting time alone and then missing your kids the second they leave, right? And so if whether it's your children or whoever it is that you are pouring into, once they leave your presence, you want to be alone, right? You need the alone time. But as soon as you're alone, now you wonder about what are they doing? Are they okay? I hope everything is well with them, right? So those are some kind of conflicting feelings that we can feel. And yet, I want you to understand that God sees you. He honors your sacrifice. So no matter what you have to do in front of people, whatever facade you feel you need to put up, right, to put on the appearance of being this superwoman, please understand that God sees you. He sees all that you do. And so not to say that in a punitive way, right, or to say that he's looking at you in a demeaning way, but he sees you and he sees you for who you are. He honors your sacrifice. He honors your selflessness, right? He honors what you do for others, how you pour out, how you always care for, how you nurture for others. God sees all of that and he blesses you according to that. And so he blesses you for your sacrifice and your commitment. But he's not impressed by your perfection, right? Remember, he made you. He's your maker. He made the make and model, right? He made you. So he's not impressed by your perfection or your act of perfection, right? He's not impressed by any of that because he knows you. And so he is rather moved by your surrender, right? Your submission to him, your willingness to continue to serve others and to do it selflessly, right? To do it from a good heart, right? With the agape love in your heart, doing it from a good place, not seeking anything in return. God honors that. He's not looking for your perfection, but he's rather looking at the position of your heart, right? The position that you take or the stand that you take with your heart. Isaiah 40:11 says, he gently leads those that have young. Gently is the word there. Next, I want to talk to you about rest and grace over perfection. So let's talk about rest. And you've heard me talk about rest in the past, right? But we're not talking about naps here or sleep at night, right? But we're talking more so about soul rest. And right, so of course we're not talking about death like eternal rest, right? But we're talking about soul rest, right? Just needing a break as far as emotionally, mentally, needing to have that rest. And so it means rest from guilt, rest from comparison, rest from unrealistic expectations, right, of others and especially of ourselves. Matthew 11:28 through the 30th verse in the Message Bible, translation of the Bible, it says, learn the unforced rhythms of grace. And then the latter part of that says, keep company with me and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. And so you're not failing because you're tired, right? You've not messed up. There's nothing wrong with you because you get a little tired, right? You are human. And God designed our bodies to need rest, right? And not just our bodies, but our minds. We need rest because that is how we rejuvenate. That is how we renew ourselves. So he designed us to be able to do that. So if you need rest or if you find yourself in a place where you're getting tired, do not look down upon yourself or do not feel that you're not enough or, say, come on now, we know better than this. We could do better than this. No. You need to give yourself some grace because you were built to get tired, right? So that you can get some rest so that you can replenish and renew yourself. And so that is how God created and designed us. And so some practical steps to get rest would be to set boundaries, right? So that's with social media, with family, even your kids. You have to learn, or those that you serve or nurture, you need to set boundaries, right? Because if you don't set boundaries, there will be none, right? So they will always infringe and overstep, so to speak, right? Because there are no boundaries that are set. And then you also yourself will allow any and everything to happen and in and out of your space because you don't have those boundaries set. And also, you need to take the Sabbath seriously. And so, what that means, and I'm not talking about whether it be a Saturday or a Sunday, I'm not getting into the debate of that. But what I am suggesting is that you choose a day, right, that you can coin as your Sabbath day, right? But take that day seriously. So, whatever day of the week that you choose, it should be a day that you unplug, that you reset, that you just kind of recalibrate, you get refocused, that you get back on track, right? Allow yourself to just rest when you're not thinking about doing 101 things, but you're just resting and reflecting and just kind of unplugging from everything and allowing yourself to replenish and to be renewed. Next, to say no unapologetically. This is a place where many people have a problem with, right? People ask of you, and especially if you're a servant at heart, especially any kind of a mother figure, you give, because you want to make sure everyone else is fine, is well, is doing okay, has everything that they need, right? And so if we have to say no, or we really do want to say no, we can feel bad about it and feel guilty about wanting to say no. But we can say no and should say no unapologetically. And so that yes to everything, that yes that you give to everything that you're asked to do, it can cost you your peace. And in most cases, it does, because you keep going and you keep going. And it can cause burnout because you don't stop to rest when you need to. So it's important that you understand that it can cost you your peace, and it's not worth it, because you need to renew so that you can do the things that you have to do, right? Not just those extra things people are asking of you or demanding of you, right? But to be able to do the things that you must do, you have to have that time where you can unplug, detach, and really get replenished and get some rest. Next, let's talk about the power of real legacy. So, your legacy isn't in being perfect, right? You heard me say that earlier, that it's not about perfection. Your legacy isn't in being perfect, but it's more about being present, right? So, how many times are you just kind of existing, but you're not present in the moment? You're there physically, you're present physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you've tapped out because you're tired, right? Because you just really are kind of burnt out. You're at the place where you need to be replenished and you need to be filled up. And so the most powerful lessons our children learn are from how we handle our weaknesses. So it's okay to show them that, we let them know that we're tired, right? Because then we need to show them the right things to do so that they can get rest when they get tired, right? So they want to see, we need to show them. And we always say, we tell our children, do as I say and not as I do. And so that's not what happens. We know that, right? Human nature, they always follow the example that they see, not that they're told of, right? But that they see. And so it's okay. And that could be a very, very powerful lesson to our children and to those that we serve and those that are around us that we nurture and pour into. It is important that we use those as powerful lessons to show them how to appropriately handle different things. So, how to handle those weaknesses when we're in our weak moments. How do we show up in those moments? So, do you apologize after you yell, right? So maybe you can lose your temper and you can get a little beyond or out of character, right? So, do you apologize after that happens? Do you pray when you're unsure about something? Do you rest when you're feeling overwhelmed? Do you take a moment? Do they see you kind of just taking some time to yourself, right? So what kinds of things are you showing your children that will teach them how to deal in moments of weaknesses? It's okay to feel weak, but how do we respond in those moments, right? And so even if we're in a situation where we're grieving, right, are we allowing our children or those that we pour into to see that we are also human, right? And that we can also grieve and that we may also shed a tear or two, right? Or maybe a lot more, right? But it's okay to be transparent about what you're feeling, because that's how they learn that it's okay to have those feelings. When you don't show your feelings and you keep them kind of restrained, it can really you can get to a place to where it implodes and explodes, right? And so we've talked about that in prior episodes as well. But it's important that we learn that it's okay to show our feelings. It's okay to feel some of the ways that we feel. But then what do we do when we're at that place? How do we appropriately handle it? Do we stop? Do we pray? Do we, sing? Whatever it is for you. Do we go stop and read? Do we take time for ourselves? Do they know that you steal away sometimes and you go maybe into your secret closet to pray, or you go and take a bath, right? Or you spend some time in the bathroom where you can just kind of think to yourself, right? So it's important that you show them it's okay to have the feelings, but also how do you properly respond to them, right? How do you let them know or show them, be the example for them how they should respond in different circumstances? And so 2 Corinthians 12 and 9 in the NIV version says, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness, right? And so if we take that time, as I talked about, stealing time away to pray or to go in your prayer closet and to seek God, those are times when we are acknowledging or even showing to others, right, that it's beyond our strength, that we can't continue to persevere and we can't take care of everyone that is assigned to us to take care of if we are depending solely on our own power, right? Because it is not our power, but it's the strength and the power that God gives us. So when we are weak, then is he made strong. And so it's important that they see us taking those times away, right? So that they can see that we need to replenish and that we're also not just depending on ourselves to be the strong person or to be able to draw strength from, but that we also draw strength from God, that they see us participating in that relationship. So let your legacy be one of grace, of honesty, and emotional wholeness, right? It's okay to show all that you're feeling. It's okay to share, be honest and transparent, right? Because it helps to really show emotional wholeness, right? Or at least to see that there's a process towards wholeness. It shows that, yes, we may go through moments of brokenness. We may go through times when we are not as well as we would like to be, or there are things that do impact us, right? We're not bulletproof and we're not without being hurt, right? But in those times, how can we show grace? How can we show honesty? And how can we demonstrate emotional wholeness? Last, I'd like to talk to you about this topic, and it's entitled A Letter to the Tired Mom. So I want you to just kind of think about this, or just kind of listen to this for the moment. And so this is specifically for the tired mom. So it says, Dear Mom, you are not behind. You are not failing. You are allowed to rest. You are worthy of love even when the laundry's not done, when the dinner is late, the house is not clean, and tears may be falling down your face. You are worthy of love even during those times. God is not disappointed in you. He's proud. He's proud of your heart. He's proud of your effort, proud of your desire to raise your children and to pour into others and to serve others and to nurture others, to know him, to be in relationship with him, to show your relationship with him. Give yourself the same grace that you would give to your children and to others. You are doing better than you think. That's a letter to you, and I hope that you take every word to heart, because you are doing better than you think. God is proud of you. Those around you appreciate you and love you, even if they don't say the words to you. They need you in their lives, and they love and they appreciate you. And so even if they don't say it, know that it is true. And then know that God is so proud of you, of your selflessness, and just your commitment and your willingness to pour out of yourself, to serve others and to take care of others and to nurture others. It is definitely a huge feat to be able to do all of that and to juggle everything else that you have going on in your world. And so God appreciates that you lean on him for strength. He appreciates that you give of yourself to others. So you are doing better than you think. The fact that you're standing and you're able to make it through all that you're going through and still maintaining all that you have to do, it is because you are doing a pretty good job, as my husband would say, a pretty good job. You're doing pretty well. But I say you're doing more than just pretty well. You're doing a great job. And even if no one else tells you, I'm telling you that today, you are doing a great job. And so let me just say this closing prayer for you. Lord, I lift up every mother listening today. I ask for renewed strength, divine rest, and fresh perspective. Break every lie that says she's not enough. Remind her that you are her source, you are her strength, and her safe place. Let her children and those that she pours into rise up and call her blessed, not because she is perfect, but because she is present and because she acknowledges you in all that she says and do. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. And so if this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, especially if there are others that are out there that are mother figures that you know, they may need some encouragement. Mothers need to be encouraged. And that's the purpose of our episode today, is that, and of course in celebration of Mother's Day that is coming up this Sunday, but it's because mothers need to be encouraged. We have the one day a year that we're celebrated, but it's every day that we do the work, right? It's every day that we put the work in and that we serve and pour out of ourselves to others on a consistent basis, right? And sometimes even despite of our own needs. And so today I want to let you know that you are appreciated more than you know. You are, God is proud of you, and he honors you for what you do for others. And even others, sometimes they are too preoccupied, right, to even stop to say how much they appreciate you, but know that they do appreciate and they love you. You being a part of their lives is such a huge thing for them. And so I want you to know that even if you don't do everything perfect, because it's not about being perfect, but it's about showing up. It's about being present, and it's about doing it out of a loving heart. And so you do all of those things on a consistent basis. So what if the house is not totally clean, or the food is not, and I'm talking about just some regular tasks, but if everything is not done 100%, don't beat up on yourself. Show yourself some grace, because you are doing a phenomenal job. You are doing a lot. You are carrying a lot, but you are doing a phenomenal job. And especially with God's help, you will continue to persevere and to move on and do all the things that you need to do. And so my prayer for you is that you will have rest, that you will have peace, and that you will have abundance. And so you reap what you sow, right? And so if you sow love and kindness into others, it comes back to you. And the wonderful thing about God is that you just don't get in return what you give out, but he deals in multiplication. So that means if you give out some love, you get much love back, right? And so whatever you give out, you get so much more than that. You get that multiplied back to you. And so understand that everything that you give and everything that you do is not in vain. God sees all, and he repays, he rewards you. He certainly does. So please share this with those that could use to hear these words. And remember to like and share and subscribe. I'm your host, Beatrice Hutchison. And remember, your journey to complete wholeness, it starts here. We are still talking about wholeness here on this channel, that we're still on that journey. And as we end, let us affirm together. Please repeat after me. I decree that I am a good mother that shows herself grace. And I declare that others rise up and call me blessed, and God is proud of me. All right, amen. Until next time, take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. Remember to let God be your super in the woman and be made whole.
We thank you for sharing this time with us here at Wholeness Wednesdays. Thank you for joining us to explore and experience this journey to complete wholeness. Please remember that we are only an email away. Your questions and input are welcome via bhutch@completelywhole1.com. See you next time here at Wholeness Wednesdays.